I could feel it all. And the only problem with that was I absorbed it all, including all the negativity and the suffering, the pain. And for decades, I thought that that was my energy. I thought that was me, but it's
Mm.
actually not. It's not who I am. I just took it on.
And it's confusing,
Yeah.
but
Because you can't
it's good.
differentiate between your energy and someone else's energy
Well,
when you're a baby.
not until you are aware that there are two types of energy.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
awareness came belief.
You
I
just
haven't
think
tuned
that you're
into
the all.
another person for a long time.
Ooh, you wanna play?
I actually gotten used to not tuning into people for a long time now. It's like when your ego is running the show, well, it keeps every defense, every mechanism active for its use. When you sort of release the ego, you don't, hey, what's there to worry about? What's there to actually think about? You're present with the here and the now, and all of a sudden, I don't feel anybody really anymore. Of course, I can tune into them if I want, but I don't. I think that's a private thing, and actually good that I'm not tuned in all the time.
Hmm, yeah, that's what your head says.
That's what my head says.
Yeah.
I I I'm learning to choose who I want to tune into.
Yes.
Mm,
And I'm also I'm studying it. Like when I get triggered, what is being triggered? Is it my ego? Is it a past memory of something? Do I own that experience?
Mm,
Or is it something that I can just let roll, be aware of it, but let it roll? It doesn't have to come into my emotions.
mm,
And I've been teaching it to my sister about me in a little bit of a ways because she like, some people find it's honorable, and it is honorable to care about someone, but I don't want her worrying about me to the point where it it it's in her skin, it's in her blood, it's in her muscles, it's in her tension, it's in her worry. I don't want to be her worry. Is
mm,
thing are things is there room for improvement? Sure, but it's not for her to carry the angst and the worry like a mother might worry about a child. Even as a mother, I'm learning to let my children's stuff be their stuff, because if they've got to worry about me worrying about them, it really condenses and constricts their flow of positive energy.
yeah. Your
So
worry comes their worry.
yeah, and it's
We are
so
happy for them going to get the experience, even if it's a bad experience, they'll be happy about it because that was what you were. That's the energy you emitted.
yeah, and I
It
can be
may
there
take
with
time that
them.
to figure out that it was actually good, it was bad.
Yeah. So I went through something with one of my other daughters. I had to monitor myself. I was like, okay, how can I be here with her in this situation, but not be consumed by it, like
Mm,
holding my breath over it? And if she's got to be worried about me holding my breath when it's her
yeah.
situation, it just makes it. And I said, no, I said, look, this is your situation. It's all your decision, how you want to feel it, what choices you want to make. I'm just here to be your helping hands. You facilitate it, and the parts that I flow with, I'll flow with. Some things I can do more objectively than you, and it doesn't bother me either way if I'm included or not. But I'm sitting mother over here for a while, and if I can make phone calls for you, I'll do it. If I can write a note for you, I'll do it. I'm going such and such a place, I'll do it. I'm not, I share with her that I'm not emotionally tied to her decisions.
Yeah. You can be of service, but you won't be of judgment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
So it's fun learning how to be a parent.
Apparently.
So when she asked, well, Mom, what should I do here? I don't know, but I'll go make you a sandwich while you figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
if you don't want, and if you eat it, it doesn't matter. It's okay.
Yeah.
If you bite it.
The sandwich would just give her a different perspective.
Yeah, it's all good. This too shall pass.
Yeah.
This too shall pass. So, and then I get to apply that same attitude to my own sticky situations that I'm holding my breath on. I'm like, wait a minute, you're holding your breath. Okay, this too shall pass. Be your own best friend and just facilitate. Facilitate. I'm only 60-40 on that. I'm too involved. I'm too involved with my own shit.
It's because each time anything happens, it gives the ego the opportunity. Hey, I can stand in the spotlight. And sometimes it's so sneaky we don't even realize it until, hey, what are you doing out here?
I'm enjoying this Alta's perspective on the voices in our head, you know. I've shared before about the saboteurs, and I'm realizing that you know, they weren't so exposed before. I wasn't as conscious of them. You know, they just kind of like sit on the sidelines and go, yeah, she ain't gonna do it. Yeah, it ain't gonna happen. Yeah, what's she looking over there for? You know, those they don't speak directly to me, but they are certainly resonating a strong vibration of what I call the wrath and doubting. And while pursuing to go forward to make something, you know, supposedly positive happen. And so I wasn't even aware of them like 3 months ago. But now I'm like, oh no, no, you ain't in this. Sit down, shut up, go somewhere. I'm able to be aware of my own internal doubt mechanisms. So, and address them and shut them down and get light again and keep it moving. I'm like, this is fun. You guys recognize your quiet voices that just seems to always be with you?
Yeah, who doesn't?
Mm.
Sometimes you hear them, sometimes you don't, but they're getting louder when you're becoming more aware of
Oh, yeah, they get mad when they're exposed.
them. Yeah, especially if you question them. Ooh, they don't like that.
Mm-mm. Well, I think they don't like being questioned, but we don't like questioning them because it's like questioning the very foundation of your basic operating system. And who are you without
But
the basic operating system?
that's what our children are here to teach us. We are learning it, learning to confront ourselves as we need to confront them. We realize, oh my God, I'm doing the same. Like you said, you're sitting and holding your breath like you told your daughter not to do.
Yes, yes.
Awareness of others becomes your awareness. So that's what children are here to teach us. The harder we work with children, the harder we work with ourselves.
Yeah. You are so good about that. letting your child teach you. I've learned so much being a parent.
Yeah.
But you go through those phases, well, I did, where it's like what mommy says goes, because I don't have time to think of it in 20 different ways. We just, I got to get you to karate on time. Get in the car, get your bag. Don't forget your snack. Let's go. It was always, you just had to do what I said.
Yep.
But when they start thinking on their own, my Lord, and express it, my Lord, my Lord. And they're right. Oh, my Lord, my Lord.
Yeah. But when you look back at it now, when they were right, actually, look how much it saved you. You didn't have to work with that part of them. They knew what was right.
Yeah.
It's sort of a relief now, but when you're in it, how could they be right? Oh my God, I didn't even teach them it.
Yeah. Kids are pretty amazing. My
Yeah.
son, we would go to church like all the time. And very close knit uh church family. And our leader died. And I had to go, I had to tell the children, because they were very aware of him and his presence and all of that. They would talk to him, all of those things. And so I was, trying to get my emotions together. I was crying. I was feeling the feeling of feeling. And so then I called the children and to tell them. But before I could get them all in there, my son came into the living room and he put his hand over my shoulder and said, Mommy, we don't have to all be sad. He's gone, but he's not gone. He taught us better than that. I was like, all right, let me shut up and just let them know what the state of the nation is and keep it going. Like, it's like we take ourselves through. It's like what I was taking myself through, a human response. But really, really, he's really not gone. Like those sayings, the person is still in your heart, and it's
Yeah.
almost selfish to not be happy for them.
Exactly.
But when that little fella consoled me, he was like 3.5. This
Whoa.
little fella consoling me. And it was a satisfying console. Peace just came over me.
It has me think of it's scientifically studied, right? That our first 8 years we're like in a trance. It's like a fog, if you will. But well, what a wonderful fog that children are in, right? As they're exploring up until like the age of 6, right? It's like we're a sponge. We're just absorbing it. We're seeing it, then we mimic it, right?
Mm.
Now, I think there's a mistake. I think one mistake in this study is that they said like then we wake up.
No, then we fall asleep.
And I think I think it's like
Yes.
the observer. I think we just stay trapped in that. I don't think we wake. I don't think it pop out and realize it until we do the work. Like you said, Sindrell, to see the tendencies that are driving your life. It's like the puppet master. It's like you are the puppet and someone's pulling the strings. It's patterns, it's the unconscious in the background that's just on automatic, just on autopilot.
Mm.
Yep. UAP, unconscious autopilot. It's like, hey, who's driving this thing? Is it the captain or is it the passenger? And, Dexter called it the passenger. So you're either captaining or you're allowing the passenger to pilot.
I think maybe I'll consider that with it's been set on autopilot and it's just it's just on a program now.
Yes. And it's hard to catch sometimes because we become unconscious to it.
Yes.
But
It's like
being here,
deficient.
we kind of shine awareness onto it.
Autopilot ain't that great if it's saying die. It might as well just be sync.
Mm.
Depends on the perspective. You need to be in more control when it's diving, so you can avoid the bumps on the road on the way down.
Very, very important, Tynes. Say that again. I missed the first part.
There's not much difference when everything's on autopilot. It may say dive, but it's the same as sinking. You need to get in control there, so you can actually steer around the obstacles on the way down.
Yeah. Like life is always on a part of the wave. And it will never stay at the top. We'll never just stay at the crest. We'll always head back down to the bottom.
Yep.
But
awareness helps you catch it before it actually just takes a steep dive.
yeah, the fork turns into a tornado.
Yeah.
To a rough sea, a storm, chaos, right? It's like those dives that are are automatics on the autoplay, are just responding. They're just reacting to what's out there. And there's another way.
Yeah.
Okay, I need help. If there's another way, how you guys get those avatars up? Those are fun. I love them.
Your control panel on the bottom, very right, should be 3 buttons. You can click on that, and then it's in your background.
It's in the background.
Yeah, background and effects, where you can turn on your avatar.
Oh, background and effects. And, ooh, see, you learn something new every day.
And you see how you feel how good learning something is?
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you're right all the time, right, you're not going to take in new information.
Cool. Background effects. So I want to find some new avatars. The ones that are coming up. Can you get new avatars? These are
you can. There's a plus button, a little plus where you add.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna have some fun. All right. Continue talking amongst yourselves. I'm listening.
No, you're not. You're playing. As if that's a bad thing.
No, it's not. That's why we're laughing.
That's
to
right.
identify with.
It's just it's funny, we call it good and bad, but it's obviously there are morals and values and ethics, and we're not talking about that. We're just talking about our judgment of things, good or bad. And the judgment is the wave, but what's in the middle of the wave is neutrality. There's those neutral points. It's like the double bubble, right? There's the sweet spot in the middle where there's no more conflict. It's not good or bad. It just is.
And so why does the double bubble work?
Because when you create two similar waves, but an opposite polarity, they actually cancel each other out. That's a law of the universe.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Will. Here, I'm going to put the mechanics to it. It's that one side of it you could only see, which means you couldn't see the other side.
Oh, okay.
So you're stuck in one side of it. You're limited, put it this way, you're limited to see the one side. And our tendency is we're limited to see the scarcity. Our automatic is to see the scarcity. So we see the negative aspect of it, which means we don't ever see the positive side, the top of the wave, right?
Wow.
And
So how could that apply to like financial matters and debt? So there's debt, and there, obviously there's a structure to that, but then there's also a structure to financial well-being, where there's a balance there.
Yeah, it's and so this is why this stuff is so sticky to work with people, is because people need you to talk to their specific pattern, but everyone's pattern is different.
Yeah.
So we pull back and say, all right, look, we all have a tendency pattern. The practice is to be aware of yours. And then that's what you share. Only when you're aware of it can you share it.
Yeah.
And when you share yours, that's when other people, right, can connect to it. So when we bring up the structure, right, people, it's like fill in the blank. It's like a whole lot easier to take a test when it's fill in the blank.
Yeah.
That's what structure does.
It's not a rigid, oh, this is how it is. Well, actually, there's billions of perspectives for how it is,
Mhm.
or
And
more.
how do we need to be with that when all of them are valid?
Yeah, because it's their experience. It's our experience.
Yep.
And it's really infinite
Yep.
potentiality.
Yep. And so why do we believe all the bad things that can happen to us, but we don't believe all the good things that can?
Thank you.
Yeah, I have to
Thank you.
remind
Thank you.
myself that I actually affect my environment. I actually affect outcomes.
Also known as create them.
Yes.
Yes, yes. I can be an intentional or unintentional contributor.
Yes.
And I must admit, sometimes, I let the autopilot play out. And they say, it said like, either you're using your energy or somebody else is using your energy or something else is using your energy. It's like voting, which could be controversial, but in my circles, I said, well, whether you vote, engage in the voting process or not, you're still voting.
Yep. Yep.
You proxy it away. Mm-hmm. And there's a talk I gave about proxying your life away. I used to work in the bank and people would like have proxies, where they would just let someone else vote on how the company was going to go forward. And so they never engaged in the voting, but yet they lived the results of whether the company made profits or not. So how do you live your life? By proxy or by vote?
Choice.
Back to my word choice. You guys got clothes. I'm gonna go back and fix my clothes.
I love your avatar, Cinderella.
Yeah, I'm still working on her, I think, though. Her eyes look a little like, ah.
I know, all the eyes are kind of creepy, eh? It's like who opens your eyes that much? Like maybe a psychopath.
I see you. I see what you're up to there.
Yeah.
I'll play with her.
Love the back and forth wiggle, the wobble.
No, you have it too.
It's like there's the wobble, and then there's the wiggle, and then there's the giggle.
Let's see.
And it's those things, it's like those things that you used the topic of voting, right? That can be a very charged conversation. Charged just because people have taken very defensive sides on both sides, right? If we look at objectively, we see both sides digging into a ground that these conversations need to be talked about. So in all reality, as we just look at the depths of it, we look at what are we avoiding? And better yet, it's like, what are we avoiding that matters? That is where the charges are. Our problem, like an individual problem, is we haven't recognized our fight to be right. We just don't have to have it.
I don't have to fight to be right because I am right.
So, yeah. And when I can allow your right to be different than my right, Will,
Well,
we
I just want the
can
right
discover
wrong.
that. Sorry, Heinz?
I just want the right to be wrong.
To be wrong.
Well, without people blaming me for it. Saying, hey, you were wrong, we were right. Well, that's
Yeah,
all
so
right. One of us was it.
But
Blame. I'm
I
sorry.
like that, the right to be wrong. But let me get through it if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Let me learn from it. It's my wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's here to teach me, not you.
But it's not wrong until it's wrong to me.
Exactly.
And we like to sit there and wait to say, look, I told you so. I told you. I told you.
Oh, that's one of the best ones.
I was right.
That is all we're waiting to do. Why?
Polarity.
Why? That is not the best for you.
No.
Like why am I choosing to control your life? I can't even control mine.
Yeah.
But I don't know if my right for me is right for others.
It isn't.
I'm like, look, this is what I experienced. You know, if you want to know, your experience may be totally different, but you can use it as a reference.
The way you're telling it there, then it's advice. That's not the right to be wrong, but that's just giving advice. This is my experience. Then you put a totally different spin on it. Then it's not so egotic. Then it's a suggestion, a possibility. That's creating opportunity when you just the way you were saying it, simple.
Okay. Okay.
It's like we want to experience life without engaging in it. And it's like, yes, it's like what really matters, especially around the campfire, is the experience, right? Is to speak about it, is to speak about it as this is only my experience.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of times we'll put that my experience in it, and it could, if you only hear it as this is how it should, like you should do it this way, should. If you know, if you can only hear it that way, that's the only way you're going to hear it. Like,
And you're gonna
I
shoot all
can't,
over yourself.
I can't adjust your filter. Only you can.
Yep.
I can soak it in some non-judgment environments, but if it's your dominant thing, like you're gonna hold on to that.
Mm.
And we wouldn't be able to have a conversation about a vote.
No.
Because it takes both parties to be willing. You can't have one willing and one judger.
No.
I mean, we can, like it works. It actually, in
Okay,
all
but you
reality,
don't
that
because
works the best. That actually works the best. Sorry, it's not the best because two willingnesses are better, right? But everyone gets what they want then when there's a judger and a willingness.
but it's a
Because you
very
see,
one-sided conversation. It's the judge that will control that talk.
it
It's
is.
like focus need proper framing. You
Yeah.
it's right. It's like, is it always perfectly focused?
know.
Never, right? It never is. It's like you gotta, oh, where are we? Is it captured? I mean, even our cameras, right? Our cameras aren't an automatic focus.
Mm.
So even when we look at the same screen, we're focusing a different point.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I asked this was like a breakthrough moment for me. Was I was sitting back in the day, a long time ago, I was sitting at the bar with my friend, and we were having a conversation, and we always had deep conversations there. It was like part of what we did. It was fun. Um, and and I sat there and I said, you know what, dude, I think that everyone sees this bar the same way I do.
When we have 10 people describing the same orange, but we're not describing it different. We describe it differently because we focus on different points.
That's right. That's right. And so it's so ridiculous for me to think that you are seeing everything I see just the way I see it. And it's like that, there's no way. Here, I don't think we really appreciate what we so if we're talking about power today, like today's our superpower, I don't think we appreciate our superpower.
Right.
I think we should take a journey to do that.
Yep.
Mm.
What is our superpower? It's like discovering that superpower.
It's intuition and empathy.
Love and
Being
laughter.
Mm. I don't know.
Oh, I don't, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just like, yes, I don't know. But if we start, it's like we'll go back. We'll just go back we'll just use this lifetime. And so what we'll do is we'll go back to the moment before you are you. And that would be, look, there's mom and there's dad.
The power to discern.
Mhm. They come together, boom, make you. I know these little sperms. They find the egg. They go in there. There's millions of them, right? And they find the one, and one becomes you. One becomes two. Two becomes four. 4 becomes 16. 16
Fibonacci
becomes
takes over.
64.
You see how you went there with those numbers? And for me, it stopped at 1. 2 became 1.
Mm.
Became me.
Yeah. 2 different codes of consciousness
Yeah.
became 1 code of consciousness.
And when we get to a certain size, a certain number of them, of these cells coming to like duplicating rapidly, printing, all of a sudden the first thing you will hear is your heartbeat. Imagine that for the very first time, your heartbeat.
If your ears are developed yet, they may not quite be there yet, but they will.
Hear, feel your heartbeat.
Oh,
then.
feel. Yeah, there you go.
Like that beat started on its own at one time. It wasn't there, and then it was there. Stump, stump.
Yes. So what ignited that? That's the spark. To me, that's the spark. Like what is that spark that ignited that heartbeat?
I know at 6 weeks, when you start to create bones, it will take 3 times the amount of energy in Hiroshima just in small size. 3 times the energy. When you start at 6 weeks to create, that's when they sort of say that's when the soul enters the body. Blah, 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 blah.
So are you, or let me ask this, are you doing this?
No, that's the puppeteer.
Yeah, what consciousness is building the body? What consciousness is sparking up those heart cells that start contracting?
It is one of the most amazing things in the universe that we can even put our head around and still don't have an answer for.
Mm.
Life. Life. Let me say it again. Life.
Well, life is just a new frequency.
That's right. So that heartbeat is going, and like that's about the. So you've got your heartbeat, and now you've got your mother's heartbeat.
Mm.
Now we can say, oh, our mom is creating us, and it's like, yeah, maybe it might be just more of an environment.
Maybe it's more of an expression of what is.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's a new heartbeat. It's an expression, more of an expression of what is.
And so if we take this metaphor of this developing child into like a car that we can all relate to, it's like the heart is driving this car, right? And really it's creating the car, right? But it's at the steering wheel, right? It's creating all of it. So it's like all of the car. And as we develop first, second, third trimester, right, where this thing's getting ready to pop out, right, it picked up some passengers. along the way. Like these emotions, right? These emotions are developing these senses, these triggers. We're feeling things from our mother's sensing. It's like we're developing these in us. Poof, we pop out, boom, about the time of age 4, right? We pick up another passenger and we call this our self-conscious. And this 4-year-old, right, terrible 2s to 4s, starts to drive the car. The heart just takes a, it just kind of sits in the back seat. It is the car, right? So it just kind of goes for the ride, right? The emotions are in the front seat, right? Freaked out usually, like telling you where to go, what to do, how to do everything. And your self-conscious is just steering the car. Like, how did we go from that to that? That's that fight to be right. Right? That's self-conscious.
And just like when it started with the one cell turning into two, growing 2 to 4, and the same we're doing. We're expanding, expanding, expanding. Maybe not cellularly, but our cells are constantly changing. So yes, some dead cells fall off and some new get too. And
Right? We're trimming
people,
synapses.
yeah.
We're trimming synapses, meaning that our tendencies, all they are synapses in our mind. They're neurons firing. And neurons that fire together wire together. Right?
Mm.
And so these
Like
wires,
that
like
one.
these are our triggers are just wires. And so if we can recognize them beforehand, right, that's the skill, that's the practice, is recognizing them beforehand and giving them a new path, just like the double bubble, giving them the opposite side, giving them something else to see. And it's like, oh, we train it to go down a new path. That's when we see it a different, when we see a choice, we can let go of only seeing it the one way. But that's what's hidden. What's hidden is the one way we see it.
Uh, wow.
I mean, it's the perspective of like when you ask a fish, how's the water? They know nothing else but the water.
Yeah.
That's us.
Yeah. It's like there's a sea of, I'm swimming in a sea of abundance, but all I see is debt.
Scarcity.
So I was programmed
Mhm.
to see that.
We, and I was thinking, like, so we have this ignition, right, to the will. It's like this spark. We have this spark. Um, hmm. But we also have the fear, the spark. Like we also have fear, and so it's like there's the sparks, like the intensity of the spark. So the intensity of our feeling also creates those neurons, right? Those synapses. And the painful ones, right? The ones that hurt, the ones that were harmful, are like 5 times stronger. The intensity is 5 times greater. So those are like given extra juice, if you will, right? That's how we develop our tendencies, automatics. And so it just becomes the way we see life. And for some of us, it takes, a long time to get out of it.
Yeah, but it took a long time to get into it also.
Yeah, thank you, Heinz. It does. It took a lifetime,
Yeah.
and,
So
and
we
it's
shouldn't be
like
hard on ourselves that it takes time to get out of it.
that's right.
We should enjoy the ride, like we enjoyed the ride getting into it.
That's right. All those old structures, patterns, creations, right, have to undo themselves to be building to put the energy into the new ones.
Yeah.
And like that is the shame. Like we should be ashamed of ourselves with what we do, with like how we treat our children.
We're doing like every other parent did for us. We do the best with what's allowed.
We should be grateful for having children, you know, because they make us grow, you know, by challenging us.
And try telling them you're right and you're the only one who's right. No way.
Mhm.
When they reach that age, about 16 and up, they're right and they know life. And we're just old dogs who don't know jack about how it is to be young today.
Yep, which is true.
Yeah. Challenges are the salt of life. We need it.
It's like it's just information. We make
Yeah,
it the challenge.
yeah, it is just information because I'm feeling a lot of in not well, you have playing with these words here. So you can conclude certain things. I'm having a lot of inconclusivity right now because it sounds like I'm hearing, and it's fine, you know, to have these various absolutes that we're resting on. What's true, what's good, what's bad, what perspective. Um, and all of that, I'm feeling a sense of being a little cynical about everything that I'm hearing. So those are my wobbles, and I'm okay with them. Um, because in the reality of, you know, two seeds, two coming together to make one, or one multiplying to make many. Um, I'm living today. I'm living today. And so what am I being aware of today that gives me the sense of expression that feels good for me? And I mean, I'm going from one thing of in conclusion, and my biggest thing is being aware. So like I don't know what's true, and I'm not worried about what's true and what's right. And I am allowing myself to be aware, what are my foundations, what is my operating system, what is feeling like it's the foundation for me to take the next step off from. um but I woke up this morning with like this question, this openness, in prayer or to God or just to my beingness. It's like, and it's been this thing for a while, is that I really want to experience this thing called love, like between two people. Um, but I've been experiencing mostly this this growth factor that I have not explored or really expressed. Um, the benefits and the experiences of loving myself. And I have to, and then I like, in this exploration and awareness of learning and expanding how to, the experience of loving myself, it's entertaining me so much more fuller. But I still beg the question for the experience to experience this with someone else. So that's what's important to me. Like, you guys are speaking a lot of good stuff, but just, I'm sitting here in this perspective. It's just my perspective. I'm sitting at the bar. Do I see it the way you do? No. I'm looking, I'm in the inquisition. I'm in the openness. I'm in the awareness of self-love to share love. And
Yeah.
one doesn't depend on the other at this point.
And the more self-love you give yourself, the more share love you have.
It sounds like what?
The more self-love you give yourself, the more share love you'll have. The more you love yourself, the more you can share it.
Yeah,
Yes.
I got tons to share. I just don't have a place to someone to share it with.
You share it with your kids, you share it with the world.
Nah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what
My
kind of
kids are
love.
great. My, phenomenal. Share love with the community, handing out sandwiches and blankets. Phenomenal.
So Sindrell, what is the information that it's giving you? Like, what is the sense? Like, here's what the word that I feel. It's like it's building frustration.
It's an open anticipation. It could be some days it is not hard frustration. It's just like, dang, I want
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It's that continual guidance, right? It's like that internal guidance that says that like that's coming next, right? That's coming next, and then it's like, well, we're trying to fit it with what we know and what's new.
It has been so evasive for me that it's not something to hit, but it's like I'll when it comes, I'll know it.
Yep. Yep.
And it's not I don't want it forced. I don't want it
Yep.
patent. I don't want all of that fake crap. I don't want that,
It's a deep urge that that really just points you in a direction is about as much as it does.
Yeah.
And it's like that's the conversation with our higher self, with our power. That's like what the conversation with our power is like. It's not a memo, it's not a letter, it's not an Instagram chat. I mean, it's not clear.
It ain't clear. But
That's the engaging. The engagement with life makes it clearer and brings it closer. Just like you're saying. But I think that's an important part because people, another word is like, oh, I'm talking with God, right? People, oh, I'm listening to God. And it's like, yes, it's like I'm listening to the love inside me. And it's like, those are not easy things to do, people. It's not like they're giving us instructions like our parents did. It's like, no, this is something completely different that we are not attuned to using. We were when we were children, which is the good thing. It's like, oh, well, there's a habit, there's a pattern in there somewhere, right? And it's when we were a child. Before we put all these conditions on it. It's like the love that's inside you, Cinderella, as a child, before you put all the conditions on it that other people and you had to be. It's like you're removing them to reveal the beauty of you going through it, right? That's the breakthrough. Like the breakthrough is to go through it. And that's the superpower.
Wow, that just came full circle.
Superpower. Yes. Superpower.
Mhm.
I've got the
Superpower.
power.
And and
Hey,
and
hey.
and that's what people want. They
Superpower.
want they want to be told, like, tell me what my passion's telling me.
Yeah, because sometimes the words are not forming. The elements are, like you say, it's not necessarily easy, but opening yourself up to it becoming evident when you don't know what the evidence means, or you'd have no real clear connectivity to the evidence.
Hello?
Like to hear you speak, experiencing in my own, to me, they're already evident, but they're becoming more self-evident to me. And it's a process. And I'm falling in love with the process. That's the part of me loving me. Superpower. Okay. Like is we go to and fro. Like you got to take time and just sit with the emptiness of stuff and
Sorry, Sindra, we're getting pieces of it. I mean,
Yeah, that's major
oh,
glitch out. As soon as you talk Cinderella, it all
I'll
just kind
just
of
listen because I think can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
it
Can
all
you hear me
just
now?
kind of yeah, we can hear you. It just kind of all glitches out when as soon as you start talking. It seems you might be a little far from your Wi-Fi.
No, I went directly to I put my earphones on, my earpieces on. Hold on, let me double check this.
no, you're good. It's good now, so it's
Oh,
much better
Yeah,
than it was.
sounds good now.
Yeah.
oh, okay. Yeah, I think I was going through a zone that was bad. I'm in the car now.
Oh yeah, that would be it for sure.
Yeah. Um, so I don't know what you heard, but in a
Not,
few
not a whole
sentences,
lot.
that sometimes you do just have to sit in the abyss of nothingness and give that time for things to become evident. And in that, loving the process of those things becoming evident that may or may not feel comfortably or affirmingly associated with what I already know. So hearing you when you spoke, Jesse, about like it's hard, so it doesn't just come just because you came to class. It comes because you yield to whatever you're ready for in the class. And so the more you come to class to sit in super consciousness, for it to just reveal, that's part of the process of loving oneself, of giving yourself that time and space. Because in your everyday world, you don't get this level of communion.
So where else? Like, and it's like, then where would you build it?
Where
I
else
mean,
does this spark get to turn into a flame?
Yeah.
it's like my experience was as I built it through self-meditating, like meditating by myself, because that is what we do. That I did that for about a year, and then there was just an urge underneath that just said, "This sucks."
Yeah.
Well, but
Who
what
wants to
sucks
do
about
it by
like
themselves?
this shit isn't like it isn't. I'm getting peace, like more peace in my life, yes, but that's all. It's like there just was this deep urge that said there's something more. Okay, I'm gonna keep following that, right? It's that surrendering to I don't know. That was for me because having to know was my big key, like my tendency. Now, our superpower is actually what our wounding is. So, like when we break through it, we come through it, and we look back and say, "Oh, I was just looking at it incorrectly."
Yeah. It's like I was not enough. Oh, is that true? No, actually, I am enough.
Yeah.
Hey, there's the superpower. Or I'm not perfect. Actually, you know what? I am perfect. Perfectly imperfect. And that's just
We're looking at
great.
we were looking at the action, not the experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Or even the outcome. It's like the outcome. It's like when I have that, then I'll be. It's like the huge structure underneath there is that like when I have something, then I'll be happy. Like when I have, and mine was when I have my money, then I'll be happy. It's like, well, what about like, could it work the other way?
Can I be happy?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I just realized there too was the identifying with like the belief, like, you could have tons of money in the bank and be like, I am broke because you identify as a broke person, or you identify as a person in debt,
Yep. Yep.
or you
Yeah.
could have loads. You could have nothing and be like, I am wealthy, I am rich, and you just identify with that because you have such a richness of life and fulfillment.
Okay, so I live
Yeah. You're breaking up again, Sindrell.
Yeah. It sounds kind of funny.
life.
Uh,
Oh dear.
the problem is they can never hear us.
I know, eh?
Pick up my connection.
There you
It's
go.
Oh,
so
You're
yeah.
back
beautiful.
now.
You're back. I'm back. I'm
There,
back.
Yeah.
you're back. You're back.
Yeah. See, as soon as I said the trees were beautiful, I was back. Um, my heart is rich. My heart is rich, but doggone it, it's like I want the material stuff too.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Who doesn't?
Look,
So,
patience is not the same thing. timing. Timing, it doesn't work the way we want it, expect it, or need it to, or think it should in
Yeah.
creation.
Yep.
God, it is one of the hardest lessons that I am learning.
Yes. Yes, you and all of us.
Mhm. We all are, I think. And I don't know how to be with that.
Especially when you have a need like today. Like,
Right
I
now.
gotta pay this bill today.
Mm-hmm.
The clerk on the other side is not gonna be patient
And I
waiting
don't
for me
have,
to turn over my pennies.
that's right. And I don't have a lot of room, right?
I'm like,
I don't have a lot of space. It's like, what do we, it's like at the bottom, a bottom plus some, right? The deepest point is like, what do you do?
so I must take action and create money.
Mm.
Truly
And
out of thin air. Let's create money.
right. And then it's like, as you say that, it's like, do you believe?
Ah, don't you dare. How dare you ask me that question?
I know, put you on the spot, right? It's like you're
Yeah.
challenging my belief, like that you could do that. Well, I wish I could too, right? It's like I make it sound like I wave my magic wand and it shows up
I
for me.
believe,
But
yeah. So I've been painting, so I believe I can sell my paintings, but I haven't done all the steps it takes to get exposure for them, right? So got to get them where they're going to be appreciated and purchased.
right?
But
Yeah. We just want them to come out of nowhere too. Just
yeah,
like
hell
just
yeah,
the,
bring
like
me the
my door's open. Like I'm just gonna leave my door open. You guys just walk on in and take and leave the money.
But I don't want
yeah.
to actually do the actions that I know are required to create it.
Right?
Well,
Yep.
I just
That
want to
requires
know that,
discipline and focus and work.
but I want to know that
Look at all
like
the
I've taken
conditions. Look at all the
actions.
conditions. Look at all the
Oh, okay.
conditions. Just, I mean, that's the point, is all the conditions that we're putting on it doesn't make it so.
What conditions will make it so? Those are
There
the
you go.
identifiers.
Yep. What will, like I can only take that step in that direction now.
So that's my activity for the day, is taking action to make those conditions. So that and about 12 other things I got to make happen at the same time. But for the pieces and parts of the week and the days, it's like what conditions will make it so, will put the artwork out there, will get me clients, will,
you take those 12 into 3.
yeah. Yeah, but they're all interrelated.
Exactly. Everything is. It's like,
The main thing is marketing.
mhm.
And I have fought marketing like I'm not a marketer. I'm not a marketer. I'm not a marketer.
Oh, is that true?
But no, I just never. I'm saying it to highlight the fact that I've identified myself as, listen to this, as a people person, but I'm not a marketer. What's a marketer? A people person.
Yeah.
Right.
I am a marketer. I am a marketer. Then you make that reality video.
Yeah. Wait a
One
minute.
is,
I am a marketer.
yeah.
Oh,
There
that's
you go. And it's like, oh, do you see, like, that's an example of a breakthrough through it.
yeah. People
And,
person. What's a
and
people person? A marketer.
yeah,
Hey,
right.
I assist, I support, I help, I
And
connect. Go
now
ahead.
now it's our turn to send you the $5,000 invoice.
Yes. Come on, baby. You can send it right to Zelle. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I was driving last week when I wasn't even trying at all. And I saw myself, a vision of myself in a place, a very high-end lounge, sitting there minding my business, and someone asking me questions. And they were like, well, what do you do? I said, well, I help businesses operate more efficiently and improve their profit line. Well, how do you do that? I was saying, look, I'm not working right now, but if you want to take a quick inventory, I'll get back to you. It was like they were more intrigued because like I shut them down.
Yes.
I was like, oh, okay, okay. And then I got back with them later because they were like still intrigued, right? And they took the meeting and I sold them like 6 products.
Nice.
Coaching, service.
No.
I got to make that happen. Now, what lounge am I going to that's high end?
Beautiful. Now, look, now we're trying to put it's like, okay, so I saw it, right? Did you see how much information was there and it wasn't enough?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, do you see how we just do that? It's like, oh, it just wasn't good enough because I didn't know what fucking lounge I was. Because if I go to that lounge, like that's actually going to happen. Is that really what dreams do?
I don't know. I mean, let's try it. It's just an experiment.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
it. But it's like, see how funny we are? Like see how insane we are if we allow ourselves to look at it.
Yeah, now I gotta find like, that black suit. I'm trying, like
Yeah, right.
those
I
black
gotta
pants that
match
fit
it.
just so,
I gotta match it. And it's like that didn't hey Cinderella, that didn't even happen and you're trying to match it. Like, whoa. But you're not even aware. That's the thing. You're not even aware you're trying to match it.
See
Yeah.
how they made us use the language opposite. You said it was insane, but it's the exact opposite because you're doing something different.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, the people without a vision perish, so at least it gave me something to shoot for, right? Like, oh, okay.
Yes. Yes. What does this mean? A
Mm.
beautiful question. What does this mean?
Mm.
Because then the answer could be yes, go to that bar. Oh, all right. Now that bar is not going to look like that bar, but it's like what it means. It's like, oh, I would go to a bar that I normally wouldn't go to because it's out
And
of
a
my
lounge, 2 different
reach.
things.
Yep. It's out of my
Yeah.
reach. It's like
No,
I normally wouldn't go there. It's like, oh, so a new opportunity. Here's the thing that came loud for me was scarcity. So like it's in there. It's like
yeah.
it's scarce. So you're playing into a pattern already. And when it's scarce, it's conceived as valuable. And that's a seductive. So you were working on the seductive marketing aspect of scarcity.
Mm. Mm.
And that's confidence. That's confidence in what you do. It's like, oh yeah, I can help you. But look, I'm not working right now. But call me
Mm.
another time. And now they're chasing you, which is like 90% of those sales close,
Mm.
right? Aren't those the sales that we want to work in rather than the ones that we
Yeah.
lose 90% of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what they train us. And like that's a good rate is a 10% win rate. It's like that's good.
Yeah. Man, no. I
I mean,
wanna
it just 10% is like, oh, that just sounds like we're using all of our head.
mm-mm.
A 10% win rate is like I mean, we have a better chance rolling the dice.
Well, that's what I'd be doing, rolling the dice. I'll put on my best black pants, my high heels, and take myself out and have myself a nice martini and drink it for a long time. Enjoy every bit of it.
Yes, why? Like, look at that. It's like that sounds like fun.
Yeah, it does feel like fun too. Mhm.
And I don't know how it will go, and it doesn't have to go the way that I envisioned it, but at the end of it, I'll be able to connect it.
Yeah, I will at least, I will not have limited myself. I
That's
will
right.
not have said no to myself.
Yeah,
I will have
That's
said yes and.
That is the most important. It's not that you say it to anyone else except yourself.
Yeah.
So you are powerful. The first word people hear is they say, "No, I'm not." And it's like, what if you are? Like there is no possibility for you when you say no.
So I did play a PowerPoint one time, not like a presentation. Um, so like I'm driving an old 98 Lincoln. The color on it is discolored. It rides really well. It's paid for. And I had to pull up into this gas station, and I noticed like over time I was a little embarrassed about this vehicle. And but really, who the F cares? But I was caring, like me showing up in this vehicle with the is all this color. And but yeah, I'm so happy. Like I got a car, I can get from A to B, A to B, to Z to R to Q, right? But when I was pulling up in this gas station, like I saw this person and he was like kind of attractive. I was like, dang, pulling up in this car. And then I switched it really quick. And I said, I'm going to make this car look like the sexiest vehicle that this man ever saw. Meanwhile, mind you, I got on sweats, all of this stuff. I was like, I just changed my attitude. I changed my whole persona. And I stepped out of the car. I point, when ladies get out the car, they point their toe because they got heels on. I got on sneakers. I pointed my toe down. I got out my car and I went to I was just the most attractive, sexiest being that this man ever saw. And he was checking me out. I was like, Cinderella girl, you got it. And I flipped my hair and paid him no mind
Boom.
that he knew of. And he
Boom.
just wished he had a chance at me. And
Yeah,
I and,
girl.
and he didn't even know what to say.
Frozen, well.
I said,
Oh,
and I got in my car. He was still at the gas pump. I got in my car, all empowered, and I drove off. And he was like, in my mind, I was like, he didn't even know how to seize the opportunity. And I drove off in my 98 Lincoln, and I'm a zillion bucks. So I had to
boom.
change the persona, right? I was like, I will not be less because I think somebody think that they're more. Mm-mm. Nope. So now me and my
Doggy
Lincoln have
power.
a higher relationship. Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
that's such a cool story, Sinjel.
man,
And what do you get to create today? Like what kind of opportunities with that energy?
mhm. Everybody that I interact with will be happy that I've made their day better, that I'm leaving sparks today. I got to go to MVA. I'm going to spark a lot of people. People that aren't smiling, I'm going to get smiles from them. Yeah.
And just
I'm
by
just
showing up with that spark.
hmm,
Yeah.
yeah, just by
Just by
showing up.
yeah, by being you.
Yeah, let my light shine.
All right. So, Chat GPT, please mark Cinderella's story as the highlight of this morning's session. Uh,
Yes.
Please title it, and it'll be created for its own version of Cinderella. And what would be a good title, guys? Let's just brainstorm some titles. Like, what was the essence of that lesson?
Super spark.
Hmm.
I was just putting up a couple words from this morning that really kind of popped
Please say them
as
out
the
loud
theme.
because I can't take the chat.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Super spark.
Yeah, super and spark. So
Uh-huh.
like she embraced her superpower, that spark, that divine essence of who she chose to be in that moment.
Hmm.
And that creative spark ignited who she is. who she really is, her true
Yeah.
self.
Yeah, and so it's like in
Take syndrome.
this queen. I've always seen her as like the queen. It's like she is the queen of
Yes.
love, and it's like the queen that pulls up in this like this perception, and then how quickly she could change that perception. What I loved is that she noticed it. She said, not that. What would I
Isn't
want
it?
then? Boom, I'm going to go here. I'm going to do this. Even though it doesn't look like it, I'm going to do so. I'm going to do this. And it was like, for me, like the essence of, look, what is and what is. What
Mm,
is and what is.
mm.
What is and what is. And it's like, what is?
Yes.
It's like, what
Oh,
is the
baby.
truth and what is the truth?
Yes.
It's like which one do you want to pick? Because you're going to pick one. Now you've got a choice. And
Yeah.
it's like the choice is the superpower. Since Cinderella was your word today, I believe.
It is now. Superpower.
So I think choice was your word, right?
Oh,
Choice
choice
was
is
my
always my word. Yes,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
always a choice. Yes, yes.
You
But
know
I
what I
saw the
found really,
choice.
I found really interesting, Cinderella, was Jesse just called you the queen, and earlier you said this thing called love, and I'm like, that's a Queen song. That's a song by Queen.
Mm.
So isn't that interesting? I just thought
It
that was an
is.
interesting
Yeah.
connection.
How they show up differently, right? And it's like, oh, your job, my job, our job is to connect them, not divide them, not to look where they're separate, but to look in this space that they're the same. Then we're bridge builders. We're not bridge destructors.
Mm. Love it, love it, love it. Well, I'm gonna go in here. I am at the MVA. I got a big old smile on my face. My
Uh,
cheeks are highly pointed exercise because they are sitting up on a smile.
this is just like a motivational talk. I mean, we do those out in the real world. It's like this is where we do it together. It's like every morning
Yes,
we get to like this is how we're going to face our day.
yes,
All right. Breakthroughs. Now that we've scattered or on our way to scatter, you guys
Yay.
carry the passion, the fire. Take the fire with you.
Yep.
yes.
Hey,
Love and light and love. I love you
love and
guys.
light
Thank
to
you
you
so
all.
much.
Thank you,
Have a
Cinderella.
wonderful,
Thanks.
wonderful day. I
Thank
love
you,
you
Jesse.
and you and you and
Mm,
you
And you, and
and
you, and
you.
you, and you, and you, and you.
yes.
Infinity love. You all have a
Infinity
blessed
love.
day. Love and
Wow.
Thanks,
hug.